No, it's not.
in
It
50 years.
takes time. No, I
Yeah.
agree.
So
I
you
agree.
have-
That's something I never argue against.
Yes, I'm gonna have a company, any sort of business I'm doing. I'm gonna ensure that when you come in, first of all, greet everyone with a smile. You know.
You're right. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Peppachat. I'm the mild white Jamaican.
And I'm Raul Blaze, and welcome to this topic on customer service.
You know what? This is episode 4.
Yes.
No, 5.
5. Wow. We got 5
Episode
already.
5 of
We made
Peppachat.
it this far.
We made it this far. Now we're relying heavily today on comments on Instagram. If you're live with us on Instagram, please feel free to chime in and come in and talk with us today. Of course, we're going to be talking about customer service and the Caribbean and just your experiences.
Yeah.
Raul, do Caribbean people or no good customer service?
I guess that's a very I guess it depends. We are not used to proper customer service in our own country. However, you have exceptions. But if someone visits from abroad, we're gonna show them some good foreign. Once I think foreign service. Oh my God, customer service in Jamaica is based on your stature. If you say you have more money or so,
oh yes,
they're going to treat
Yeah.
you better. Or important.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
Customer service goes with importance, and historically, I don't think many of us from the Caribbean think we are important. You know,
Yeah.
maybe because of how we were treated in the past. So now when we are free to do it, you understand, to show customer service,
Yeah.
we just put up camera, which is not a good thing, you know.
It's a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny you mentioned that a lot of stores in UPT Uptown, like the Manor Park area,
Yeah.
it's amazing. You could see that they're trying to give good customer service, but I think because of a lot of the training, they don't know how to give good customer service.
Yes. Yes.
And it's one of those things where, let's say you drive in a household and your mother is a good driver. You pick up a lot of your driving habits from your mother. If your mother's a bad driver or your father's a bad driver, you pick up some bad driving habits from them in terms of how they navigate the road. I think that's what's happening with the customer service in the Caribbean as well too.
Yes.
They don't have real good examples of how to treat the customer. Maybe they don't see the importance of what a customer, like each customer that comes through the door is an opportunity to not only make a sale, but to also build more business as well too.
For real.
I don't think they see that.
No, they don't. But we have to realize that whenever we want any sort of business to function, if we're gonna have Jamaica as a brand, say Trinidad as a brand, St. Lucia as a brand, Dominica as a brand, we have to make sure that this brand includes proper service. Make sure that, and a big part of having customer service is making sure that they're whatever goods or services you're offering to them, make sure that it's there on time, you know, and make sure that it's speedy. You're not supposed to, if someone comes to Jamaica or comes to Trinidad or comes to Dominica or any other country and they take a long time to get through, when they go back they're going to talk about this, because people always talk about either good customer service or bad customer service. No one's going to talk about the in between.
And do you know that most people actually base customer service on their experiences? So if in Jamaica or the Caribbean or whatever island you're from, traditionally you're not used to good customer service, so you don't realize that it can be better. When you travel abroad and finally see what good customer service is, finally it's like your eyes are open up to say, wow, they can be friendly. Was there a question?
There is a lot of comments.
Okay, well let's go to the comments.
Yeah,
Comments
so
today.
tonight we're gonna go heavy on comments. So a lot of people said, no manners whatsoever. More while may have to go on bad with them than out there. They just don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
So, and then somebody else, Jamaica customer service sucks, which is a comment we kept getting over and over this week when we put or topic up. Somebody else said, in America, Customers are always right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another person says, Jamaica, beg you if you spend your money.
Yeah.
And then another person said, that's most definitely not the case in Jamaica.
Yes,
For the
yes.
customer is always right. They
Yes.
responded back to the person in the room. Another person says, I think Jamaicans treat white foreign tourists better than
Yeah.
Jamaicans.
Yes.
This
which
is-
is fact. Mhm.
How
Yeah.
do you guys feel about that?
About the treating the white tourists better.
Yeah.
I do not like that. I think everybody should be treated the same.
Yeah.
Because you are a business, and if you're in charge of, first of all, you are a representation of that business, whatever that business is. So let's say I am the owner of a company. I pay you and I trust you to do a good job. So the last thing I want is for somebody to come in and all of a sudden they get in. That's a bad impression of me.
Yeah.
That's a reflection on me. And whether I'm black, white, Chinese, don't matter what I am, I have money, and money is money, and I can spend it in your business.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But another thing about that, I think the reason why they treat Uptown and a lot of white people better than them, and I'm just going to speak my mind on this one, is perhaps it goes back to the not necessarily crab in barrel mentality, but I'm better than you, so why am I serving you type of thing. And that should not be the case. You should be happy no matter what you're doing to represent that, because a business is a business and money is money.
Yeah.
What-
yeah.
So you think that, like, it's not a think. I know that if you and Raul walked into the same business in Jamaica,
Yeah.
you'd probably get better. Even up here with the
I would get,
Jamaicans
I know
around.
I would get better.
But
I would
think,
know.
in my opinion, and you guys can let me know if you think I'm, maybe saying something that's really, like, maybe out of place, but I feel that speaks for the classism issue, and also still the slave master mentality, which colorism is something
100%.
that we'll cover later on.
100%. But
that is-
that's something, in my opinion, that a lot of people from the Caribbean need to break themselves out of.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people from the Caribbean need to recognize that they are successful people from the islands that don't necessarily look like me.
Yeah.
That money is just as good as mine, and as a matter of fact, they might even treat you better.
So someone else said the business owners in Jamaica are just as bad as the employers.
Of course.
Yeah.
They don't prioritize.
Yeah.
They don't prioritize the service like that.
Yeah, I think. Do you think there's enough like employee training going on in Jamaica for
When it comes
you
to
get hired?
when it comes to customer service, I don't think it is. It is taught, but I don't think it's prioritized.
Yeah.
And one more thing, I don't. There are many things that we can break from back in slavery, but we have to realize that the status quo has been this way since, say, the late 1400s, 1500s.
Yeah.
And up until 1960, we just got independence. Most Caribbean countries. So
Yeah.
that's about, I'm going to say that's about 400 years.
Yeah.
And you don't break away from
400
years.
centuries.
No, it's
In-
not.
in
it
50
takes
years.
time. No, I
Yeah.
agree.
So
I
you
agree.
have-
That's something I never argue against.
Yeah, but again, with customer service, again, it's gonna take a long while for people from the Caribbean to treat people with customer service, because subconsciously there's a connection between years of serving people
Yeah.
and now we have the choice whether to serve them
Yeah.
or not.
Or not.
You feel like, you understand? So
So there's a blockage.
There's a
It's like a
psychology.
blockage.
I think there's a big psychology. I
Yeah.
always thought about it, about
Yeah.
customer service, and how Jamaicans, especially blacks,
Yeah.
we don't do service well because it's something
Yeah.
we're forced to do for
We're forced,
so long. So we have to find a way now how we can change that perspective, as to modify it at least, especially to show that when you have your own business, you're going to have to service, because this time. What happened is unfortunate, but if you want your business to do better, you have to ensure that service is at the core. The customer is at the core of your service.
It's funny you mention that, because during the evolution of mankind up to now, you go through different ages. You had the Stone Age, you had the Bronze Age, you had the Iron Age, you had the Industrial Age, right? Now, believe it or not, we are in what's known as the services age. The age that we're living in is a services age. And whether you're a doctor or whether you sell Dockers boots, everybody has Yelp, so they can leave a review. We have a comment online.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you mention a doctor, because one of the comments that came in on Raul's chat is someone saying that the service, even because, you know, like a lot of people, they think customer service, they only think like a store or a shop, but they mentioned the hospital.
Yes.
And that is a big portion. And the person even said, I pray that I don't get sick in Jamaica. And someone else said it is a form of mental slavery for, you know, the lack in what servitude may be the reason why. But the customer service part for hospitals, that I can attest to, because having my history be within the hospitals and training people on customer service, we would take international transfers in from Jamaica, and one of the most prominent comments that we would get would be the service, not only from the nurses but also from the doctors and the administration staff. No, that it was terrible.
You're kidding me.
Not good. No.
From the Jamaicans.
From the Jamaican, like from people who are getting like. People who are literally coming in as like level 1, level 2 traumas, even while sitting there bleeding out, they'll make a comment saying, thank God I'm out of that shithole. Like, pardon my French, but that's like a lot of people would say, like, for the customer service. So do you guys feel that maybe in other areas we need to recognize that customer service is needed, you know, as an all-round thing, or a change in mentality?
I also think it's a matter of, and I understand where Raul's coming from. I know that he put it, I never saw it like that, and I thank you for that, Raul. And I think a lot of when it comes to healing is also acknowledging as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's a matter of also having pride in your job. And pride in how you present yourself.
Yeah.
I would hate to think that I did a bad job. Now I can understand if I'm in the type of job where I can get overwhelmed and unfortunately give an attitude, but I always try to put my best foot forward regardless. I would hate for somebody to have a bad impression of me.
Yes.
Because somehow that just doesn't sit well with me.
Yes.
I don't know if everybody feels that way. Like, if, you know, some people maybe
affects everyone. It affects
everybody's different. Everybody's different. Like, you know, I might not see this person ever again in my life, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking if I pass this person on the street, he might look at me as somebody that's unscrupulous. So I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that.
Comments are coming in like crazy. Someone says, in Jamaica, healthcare workers are not adequately paid and the government underfunds. Well, that is, we got a completely different comment. Just, I'm a little bit speechless. The person says, Jamaica has great customer service. But yeah, the underpaid health workers, I'm realizing that that's a topic that people keep bringing up when we did education, when we did punctuality. Underpaid is an issue that's going on in Jamaica, and we'll definitely,
that's another thing
address that. But for the person who said great customer service, I actually would like to hear.
That's sarcasm.
Yeah.
Well,
is it
no. I think
they're serious.
Okay, they're serious because
Okay.
That you're blinded, obviously.
Somebody's coming to the defense of Jamaica. I like that.
It's not every business is gonna have good customer service. When it comes to good customer service, it boils down to one word: competition. And the only time customer service comes into factor is if you have what's known as choice. If you have the one patty shop on the island, somebody can walk up and say, I would like a patty, and you could tell them about them cloth, and they would still buy the one patty because you're the one patty shop. But then, if there's another patty shop down the street that's not going to have that attitude, he will go down there.
Yeah.
For real.
So it boils down to competition and what other options are available. If there's no options available, you could do whatever the hell you want, and people still buy patties from you.
Caleb B says, good customer service is being an expert in your field. There's a customer service needed in each industry, but as long as they're knowledgeable in the field. That I kind of don't agree with, but you guys let me know, because even if they're knowledgeable,
they might still
polite. You could be polite.
Yeah, like I'm big on customer
knowledge
service.
of your job and
politeness
doing the job
are two different things. Because even rude doctors exist in
rude doctors are out there. Rude doctors are out there.
Yeah.
Like I can see where that person was saying, maybe they were saying that if you know your job, maybe she included and do it well.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a part of the point. You know your job and do it well. And but also we have the thing is, we in Jamaica, we don't, I think most Jamaicans we don't value our fellow Jamaicans, you know?
No,
we don't see Jamaicans as as important. This
clientele.
it's residual. It's sad, and I don't like to blame things on things, but some things you can't get away from.
Yeah.
But I think most Jamaicans don't see a fellow black Jamaican. You understand?
You're right.
As worthy
Yeah.
of
Their service.
service, or even
Yeah.
just manners or common decency. So a person, in order for a black Jamaican to earn service naturally,
Yeah.
is fat knowing that okay, that has so and so.
But now, Raoul-
That's
Raoul
similar
is-
to what Brett said about
Yeah.
even being a business owner.
It's
and
funny.
they don't
It's
respect
funny
you.
you mention that, because even with that ingrained in the back of their mind, if me and you went into a business, they would still come to me first, thinking I am the money man.
All right. And
That's
so
true.
That is very sad.
someone says we have
That's
a
true.
staffing problem in Jamaica. Generally, being understaffed, this may trickle one over to even when one is not bombarded with a ton of work. Urgency
Yeah.
is contingent on many things for Jamaica. So I think, yes, there may be a staffing issue,
Yes.
but I also feel that, like in many places, for instance, again, the hospital industry, they're always understaffed. And the nurses are always stressed. And if you're working in an ER, you're taking care of 4-6 patients all at one time.
Yeah.
But unlike up here in the States, I feel you're liable to get fired for a customer service
Yeah.
or more disciplinary actions than you are back home.
And it's more than just Jamaica. Poor customer service is a characteristic of almost all third world or developing countries.
Yeah.
Because the countries that do well with customer service are all first world countries.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any third world country that is pride themselves on customer service. And when your customer service starts to improve, that's when your economy starts to improve, because people want to come. Like for example, I think the best customer service ever, like, they exist, and anyone in Japan can attest to this, or everyone who has ever been to Japan can attest to this.
Yeah.
Their customer service is, you're wondering sometimes you wonder if they're brainwashed. That's how good the customer service is, because from you enter Japanese business, there's everyone shouting out from behind, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a question?
Metacognition says, which I was going to actually ask you guys about next, what about brain drain? Jamaicans fled to the US, UK, and Canada and are giving their best to these countries, leaving Jamaica drained of customer service.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There you
that, I need you guys to
There you go,
let
there
me
you
know
go.
what you guys
There
think
you
about
go.
that. But then I
We-
also, if that's the case, we all live in South Florida, all three of us on the panel.
Yeah.
And in South Florida, the Jamaicans here have an almost like running stereotype ahead of them for customer
Yeah.
service.
They do.
So
So
Do you
even
think-
if the best are being sent out, they're still,
yeah, they're
for lack
still
of a better word,
in
shit.
another country bought out. Like, do you think it carries over, or
But when I guess when they're talking about the best, they're not talking about people who just migrate. Maybe they're talking about people who are
like the doctors and
Doctors and
lawyers?
administrators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe those people,
Yeah.
because getting the opportunity to move here to as a part of a profession is kind of rare, you know.
Yeah.
Getting a job directly from home here
Yeah.
to here is rare. So that person is gonna do it the best they can, customer service, decency, everything, to ensure that, you know, everything is done properly. So a person, more education. There's a high correlation between education and value for common human beings, regardless of stature.
Yeah.
Because, for example, me, I don't see me being better than anyone else. You understand? And that is one of the problems that affects customer service too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people believe that they are better than other people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something that has to change.
No, I agree.
This topic.
I agree that
Well, it's funny you say no pride in job earlier that you said, with tying back to people believing, you know, that they may be better. With you guys both agreeing that they have no pride in their job, I can attest to Jamaicans being very prideful.
yeah.
So it's kind of like a
Yes, I know. I know.
to you guys.
You know, but you know the thing about it is this, and I just, the unemployment rate in Jamaica is already high to begin with, right? And what I fail to understand is a few people that have jobs in Jamaica, and the times that I've dealt with them, they've been very rude. I know, and I think Raul will be the same way as well too, because I've talked to Raul enough. If you give me a job, no matter what the hell it is, and I'm not gonna say everybody in Jamaica is like that. You can see the 1 and 2 people that grateful for the job, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, you give them a work and them happy, them smiling, and they see the importance and how it helps the family.
For real.
The thing about it to Raul is this. It's also a cultural thing. Asian dramas and Asian movies. And I've noticed one thing. Whenever, like, when you greet somebody in Jamaica and you're at their job, and they say, hey, it's okay, don't work so hard. Don't work so hard. It's the opposite over there. They say, work hard, work hard. And it's like, it's like, yeah, I don't. Then watch you work hard.
Yeah. And we don't really want to be, we love to be like in the middle. We don't want to be as extreme as some Asian countries because some of them is that whole pressure on society and customer service that lead to the high suicide.
And I agree with you. I don't like that. We've discussed this already.
Yeah,
That's why I'm a fan of Island Time, because there needs to be a happy middle ground where you can be polite, be punctual, do a good job, and
But Island Time on the middle ground. You have Island Time here, you have Asian Time here. I think right here
is a happy medium.
Yeah, but
Consideration where you're not stressed.
You don't want to be super early until it's awkward, but you don't want to be late at all. You want to be there a few minutes before it starts.
No, you're right. Same with customer service. I mean, I don't want nobody go home and kill themselves because they can't get a medium rare steak, right?
So
go ahead, you have a
someone
question?
says, everything starts from the source, which is the government. Most people back home work just to get a paycheck and not for pride. To be honest, the meritocracy factor in Jamaica isn't high. No real repercussions, which is true. We were talking about
meritocracy factor. Would somebody with a level of education bigger than mine explain that word?
They don't really reward you for what you're doing.
A little louder, please, in case I have to.
A Little Ochi in Oakland Park Boulevard has great customer service. That's right up the street from us, guys.
Yes,
we might need to go check them out. Good.
Tell us more.
What's the company? Tell us more. Tell us more.
Little Ochi in Oakland Park Boulevard.
In Oakland Park Boulevard.
That's right up the street.
Yeah, that's local.
Big of local business. As a matter of fact, what are we doing for lunch tomorrow?
I don't know.
That sounds like a good spot. Yeah, I'm always the one to jump the gun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. My apologies.
Next week, we go undercover for Little Ochi.
Next week on Peppachat.
Yes, let's do that.
We go undercover for customer service.
Know who we are,
Oh, yeah. They'll know who you are, Raul. You walk up in there, it's like, is that Raul Blaze? Can you do Jackie the Freitas for me?
Everybody says, everybody hired them friend.
Yes.
And is where she mean, what she mean mad white.
Yes.
And somebody else says the food is sweet from Little Ochi, so I guess we do have to go check it. Yeah.
All right, we'll go into Little Ochi.
All right, and then
but you're right though. Everybody does hire their friends, not on qualification.
Just joined in again. Sonia's in a huge customer service industry.
Okay.
So she works with the airlines, so she's on an international market.
Okay.
Oh, Sonia's a sweetheart.
Some poor customer service comes down to frustration. No matter how well your intentions are, poor pay and understaffing will turn any mood sour. That is reflected in job performance and customer service. Yes.
Now, maybe that's another reason why Jamaica has bad customer service, because there's a plethora of people ready to take the job. I'm going to pay you. This is as little as I'm going to pay you. And guess what? If you get fired, you're expendable. And that's a good point too. Maybe if you paid people what they were worth, they would at least make an effort to,
Yeah.
Did she say something about morale? Read the middle part of it, because there's
says no matter how well your intentions are, poor pay and understaffing will turn any mood sour.
Yes,
that's reflected in job performance.
You're working more for less. You're working more because the understaffing, you're working more. And the poor pay, that's less,
A lot of people are also here for the undercover idea. I've seen multiple comments about that.
The undercover idea?
Yes,
where we show up to Jamaican business and make sure. Well, if we do an undercover Jamaican business, we need to set up certain guidelines. Friendliness is definitely up there. I definitely give it that. Knowledgeability.
See, the government drags their feet on everything. Everything is written in caps. The government
Wow, that
drags their
person
feet
is
on
upset.
Everything. The folks don't get paid enough for the intensity of work that they do. We just need a 360 back home. Officials need to be able to be replaced before term.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now, as it stands with the government, they are only kicked out when corruption is typically involved. So
the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing except in a different outcome.
I like this comment that Original Browning made. She said, "Not only just the pay, but treat them better, and they will act better. Treat customers
you're right.
better." So, do you think maybe
No, not just customers.
Like
treat
the person
the
working.
staff
That's what I was gonna
better.
ask. Yeah.
I think it comes from the top down.
Yeah.
If you at least realize that you own a business, that comes with a sense of responsibility as well. That basically says I am in charge of these people's lives. Let me treat that with respect and treat them with the respect that they deserve. Granted, you can bitch and moan about I pay this person that much money and this is the work I'm getting out of them. Has nothing to do with it.
Real
nothing to do with it.
Entless, who's like, I'm sorry if I mess up your screen name. He's upset with Instagram customer service because he's saying, shh, Instagram's giving me a damn word limit, which he's been contributing a lot. Yes.
Jay, I got you, brother. I've been following you today.
Yeah.
Send me a message and I'll follow you back.
So,
send me a message. I'm following
Marvin,
you back.
I would like to elaborate a little bit more if you could, if you're still in the chat room. It says, wow, interesting conversation. I guess things differently. Bad customer service is in the eyes and ears of the beholder. Yes. Which I do agree on. You know, something that you might think is bad customer service.
You're not drinking up? You're not drinking up?
I finished my beer.
Why?
I finished it. This, all right. I don't know whether I'm genetically predisposed to finishing alcohol quickly, but that's where I'm at right now.
Wow.
I didn't want to get up and get another one.
I finished because the show lasts a certain time, it just moderated.
Moderate, yeah.
I figured if I
That's
just...
good.
Well, I needed the buzz to at least get the honesty out.
Okay.
If a bear manages to manifest whatever.
It also makes you can't pronounce your word.
No, well, that's another reason why I'm stopping. I got the buzz enough to get the honesty. But if a beer wants... If a beer wants to manifest itself in front of me, I will drink it.
Well, just make sure you don't say we're not supposed to say.
Yeah, but come on, controversy is where it's at, right?
Now, here's a question. We've all pointed out the issues that customer service in Jamaica may or may not have.
Yes.
Do you guys feel that just as how we have educational training, we should probably have centers which offer customer training to the workers, or, you know, sort of like how you have HR and staffing professionals that go around and they, you know, consult with companies and let them know how the other employees should be treated or what should be done and better run? Do you think that's a business that would be good in Jamaica?
Based on what?
Like, for instance.
No, but the reason I'm saying that is because my idea of what good customer service, like the person said earlier, is different than your idea of good customer
but
service.
I feel, don't you think there's an industry standard?
There's a template.
No, there should be an industry standard.
Don't wait, don't have the customer wait too long. Greet the customer with a friendly service.
Yeah.
It's about friendly, fast service. The 3
Accurate
Fs.
service.
Accurate, friendly, fast service, and the first thing when it comes to customer service, the first thing you need to do when you walk into a Jamaican restaurant, you're not supposed to ask them, say, what you want?
Yeah.
Where you coming here for?
We received that comment.
We not have that. We not have that.
Where you want? Me tell you not have it already. Yeah, man, you want fried chicken? Yeah. How much you want? And we need to get, even though I did a video about that where this guy went into the place and everything was good, so people were wondering if that was Jamaican.
I don't even know why Jamaicans put festival on the menu. They never have it.
That's true.
They never have the effing thing.
True.
And it sells so quick. If I open the
because by the time you're going there, it's done.
It's done.
Now it's funny you mentioned festival, because on our Peppachat page, if you guys follow at Peppachat, we actually have our own account for the show, and someone mentioned in the comments that she went to the store and wanted ackee and saltfish, and the lady was upset and told them, exactly, me not have that, but the ackee and saltfish was actually sitting right in front of her.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So
you
she
know,
already was
that's-
like preemptive.
So
Sorry.
yeah. So do you think that's? I mean, the food industry is big.
All right,
because
food
lot of
industry
times when we
is
deal
a whole
with
topic
Jamaicans,
in itself.
especially in this area. It happens to be like in the restaurant or food
All right.
industry. So that's why that keeps coming up.
Being from the food and beverage services myself, I've worked in restaurants. Sorry, comment coming in. We're keeping it
That's
going.
fine.
Yes.
Yeah. The person,
Comment.
Someone says yes. I think Trader Joe's here in the U.S. should be a model. I agree. Trader Joe's
Oh.
does. No matter what Trader Joe's you go into, there are certain stores.
Yes.
I don't support Chick-fil-A, but
Yes.
I do know for a fact Chick-fil-A is so known for their customer
Customer
service.
service.
Yeah.
Companies
Yes,
like
yes.
Chick-fil-A, Whole Foods, and Trader Joe's are so known for their customer service that they've even become memes. But
Yes.
like
Yes.
instead of the ice cream machines broke, it's like, oh, welcome to Chick-fil-A. You know, would you like us to gas up your car while we get your
Yeah.
fries and your nuggets?
Yes.
You know,
Well,
Yes.
but that's a funny
Yes.
thing. I bought groceries today, and I'm a name drop in Publix. The cashier looked at me, and the cashier was like, "Did you find everything okay today?" I mean, even a simple greet like that shows I care.
Yeah.
I mean, he might just be saying a standard greet, but it's better
Yes.
than
Nothing-
them just ringing me out, and it take
Yeah.
like 2 seconds.
Publix, I find, does most Publix since I moved down here. That's another reason why I like shopping at Publix.
Yes.
Even the guys who will help you load your car,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
find they are
They're polite.
extremely
They're
polite.
Publix
so
is up there. Yes.
I
Well,
think
not
they
only
push
that,
their
they're
customer
also-
My brother
service.
works at
It's
Publix.
funny. They're
Yeah.
also giving a lot of jobs to people with
Yes.
with,
Yes.
I
You have-
guess
you have older
handicap
people-
is a good
older
way to put it.
people,
Older
Yeah.
people,
Older
handicap.
people.
Yes.
People are people who normally hire, and if they can be polite,
There's
I wanna
no,
get- yeah.
I mean, everyone will be polite.
Yes.
regardless.
Yes. It
That's
is.
your
It
mentality,
is. It is
yeah.
very Publix. I didn't even think of it, but Publix customer service is really good. The person who is on the lactose or the dairy aisle will run and show you something done under the
Yeah.
aisle. They not tell you. They
Yeah.
don't not only tell you where it is, but they bring you down there.
but
Yes.
but I've
Yes.
always
Unlike Walmart to say
no.
Yeah.
aisle 23.
Well,
No, Walmart, you couldn't
No,
even
seriously.
find anybody. Are you kidding
Right,
me?
yeah, they don't have enough employees.
Especially off a lot of hill. But the thing about it also is, I also heard that Publix pays their people well.
Yes.
They have good health care, they have
Publix
good
does.
benefits.
So again, a happier
So
employee.
there you
And
go.
Yes.
2 comments for Publix.
Yes.
Their customer service is even so well known that
Yes.
I had made a joke the other day where when I went to Publix and I only bought a couple cans of dog food and I was walking out to my car and a guy ran across the parking lot, grabbed my cart, he goes, "I'll help you load it." And he opened my car door for me
Wow.
and then loaded everything in the car, came back and closed the car door. And I said to someone, I said, "You need to find a man like a Publix cart boy because he'll open the door,
Yes, yes.
load your cart,
And
and
close
then
it back.
make sure
Mm.
you know,
Yes.
get off to a safe start." So
Yes,
that's
yes.
more gentlemanly than like most men out there.
That
But
is.
Publix is training. Somebody else says Jamaicans are in general some very rough and rugged people. And the only thing we can work on is a newer generation of people who are not as stubborn and rough.
But that goes back to what Raul said about everybody hiring their friend. If you weren't so friendly with people, maybe then you can take off them glasses and realize they're hurting your business rather than helping it.
Really good.
You know, you don't want people, you don't want to hire people that's going to represent your company badly.
Now, I think the younger generation seems to be doing well.
I think the younger generation
I've listened
gets
to some
it.
of the scammer calls, and we seem to be really good on customer service for
Or
those.
maybe that's where our good customer service people is going and turning scammer.
And put them in work, yeah. You train them on customer
Yeah,
service.
they're good on
because-
the phone.
Yeah, some of those guys are really, really, slick with a silver tongue.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
All right, so I'm wondering, for you guys said yes, maybe training can help. What other ideas do you think can be implemented to help Jamaica?
Incentives, incentives if you like meritocracy, right?
Yeah.
If people do better at something, you kind of give them,
yeah.
reward them, give them some merit,
Yeah.
Don't let good customer service go by without you acknowledging it.
Yes.
Even though it should be the norm,
Yeah.
because it's not the norm. Whenever you see it, good customer service, acknowledge it. Have a system where customers can come up and the suggestion box.
Yeah.
Have a suggestion box so people can comment and let them the people have their name on their tags you can comment that this people was so and so. So marry people and have a system where you can reward them. That's what I would say.
Do you think a system of like a customer suggestion box would work in Jamaica?
Yes and no. I think before a suggestion box, because we know that a lot of places are not up to par.
Yeah.
I think what will make more of an impact than a suggestion box is maybe that might even be a great business model to even start in Jamaica, to go to certain businesses as a business yourself. They call them secret shoppers, secretly going there pretending to be a customer, finding all the flaws that they are, and also offering training.
True.
Show them the impact, show them that, and also not only just scold, but also reward them and say, this is what we found. This is like, give everybody a grade.
All right, so we have two comments. Marvin, the person who said that customer service is in the eye of the beholder, he actually did come back on and type what he meant. He said, only Jamaicans in the U.S. complain about customer service in Jamaica. Interesting. And someone else said, I let the scammers go on with them whole scripts, which is true. It does seem, they do seem as if they have like a script in full training.
Yeah.
But it's, it's kind of a two-sided sword. Like it's funny, but it's sad, but they are properly trained.
Well, that guy, was it Marvin? Marvin does have a very good point, because look at it like this. And many Jamaicans live in a box.
Yeah.
We live in a box. I wouldn't say that we're sheltered because of the internet and everything. We know a lot was happening, but we don't really, we don't see it until we go overseas. That there's many things that I see today living in the United States that when I go back to Jamaica, I'm like, I can't believe I grew up like this. I cannot believe this is what I had to deal with. And a lot of times, I don't necessarily. It can be good and it can be bad, because you know what them say, like you open up Pandora's box, and they say ignorance is a bliss. And in all fairness, but to the company that decides to adopt certain business practices, you might actually do better.
Yes.
You might do better. You might become a model, and people are gonna say, whenever I go into this store, they're always friendly, they're always nice, and try it. It might work.
Yeah, like my standards, like I've gotten to see both sides of customer service. I am a Jamaican. I grew up in Jamaica, but then when I moved from Jamaica, I moved to Japan, where it was another extreme. So I understand both sides of customer service, but because of my experience in the latter in Japan, I judge every customer service situation based on Japan, and that's impossible, because no one will give you that. But if I should have a company, if I'm gonna have a company, any sort of business I'm doing, I'm gonna ensure that when you come in, first of all, greet everyone with a smile.
You're right.
Greet them, shout out them good morning to them. When they come, ask them a little question, know what I can do for them, and so on. And when you're serving people, I think time is what people use to judge. So greeting and time is what people use to judge customer service. What the mood of the person was when you went inside, and also how timely their food was done, and even how delicious the food tastes. That's a part of customer service too.
Yeah.
So if I do any sort of business, any sort of business, the service or goods, I'm gonna ensure that customer service is at the center of it. Gotta give more customers.
No, it's also an image thing as well.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if every business, there's a certain forgiveness if they're busy.
Yes.
If they're busy, you can forgive them. You can sit down and say, well, I see you're busy, I'm willing to wait the time. But the rudeness, you can't forgive that. And sometimes, not necessarily the business, some people just can't handle stress.
Yeah.
Some people they say that people are dump trucks. They go around all day collecting garbage. And for some reason or another, they feel the need to dump the garbage on you.
Yes.
Now, what can an employer do to make sure that the stress level is maintained? Whether you hire more people, whether I know we have a comment coming, we'll get to that shortly, but let me just get this thought out. As an employer, you need to look at your books and seriously not only pay people fair, but hire enough people to get the job done. If you see that the amount of work coming in is definitely creating an environment that creates stress, and some people don't do well under stress depending on the job itself. It's stress. Stress has a lot to do with it. But if you not have nothing go on and you still feel the need for give up attitude,
Yes.
me can't forgive that, not even for 3 seconds. And I am afraid to say something because all of a sudden they're going to look at me and think that me's uptown and cuss me out.
Alright, so someone says, whenever I recognize customer service agent, like a proper customer service from agent from Jamaica, I always validate them and praise them, which also bounces off of this person's comment on Raul's chat. As a Jamaican, some of us don't know how to appreciate good customer service. I was personally ridiculed for giving good customer service, so sometimes that can be a deterrent. All right, and then
So the person was ridiculed for giving good customer service?
Yeah, they may think you're like
That's
maybe
probably
like
from
that.
our fella employees
Yeah.
talking about don't go so good, they're going to expect it next
Yeah,
time.
and so
I wish I
there's-
owned that business, I can fire everybody else.
Some people are naturally rude.
Some people are naturally rude.
This question, I guess, goes more towards Raul, unless, John, you have an experience to put in. Raul, working in 3 different countries, how do you feel about, for instance, your time as customer service in Jamaica versus when you were coming from the side of being the employee, not the customer?
Okay.
And John, if you worked in Jamaica, let us know, like, so we can.
Well, I've worked in the education field,
Yeah.
and I think a good customer service entails in education field being there for the student, ensure that you bring the lesson in a way where everyone can understand. And if some people don't understand, you go over it slowly. I think that might be the best example of customer service in the classroom is that the students are at the center of everything you do.
Yeah.
Everything you're doing at the school, the principal, everyone is in function to benefit the overall development of the students. In Japan, it's also the same. Students are at the center of it, and it's just that in Japan, students don't really speak as much in class because they have to be quiet in class.
Yeah.
But when it comes to teaching, I believe that customer service involves ensuring that the students understand. If they don't understand, you go over the topic, and just that they have a good experience in the school.
And even with the parents, do you think it
For the
extends to
parents,
that? Definitely.
It extends to the parents, and the parents comes and wants to know why so and so not doing so and so.
Yeah.
And so you can explain to them properly. You know, you can say, this is the reason, I can give you some suggestions, these are some books. You can let them go to extra class. So customer service is the students at the center and communicating well with the parents.
All right, and then for John, this question I guess is more tailored towards you. You've mentioned in the past your family owning temporary staffing job placements for people. Do you know if during that time they trained any of the people with customer service while they were helping them to be placed in a job?
Well, many of the temporary employments that my family did at the time was things like janitorial work, maybe guardsman work, and things like that. That business didn't succeed. I don't know why. I didn't get the full details of it when I talked
But
to
I mean, that's regardless. Like
yeah,
during
but
the time,
I'm
though.
getting to that.
Yeah.
But what happened was my uncle would tell me that whenever a job needed to be done, he would hire more than he needed in terms of the people. Like I could tell he had a good heart and he wanted to do us right. Rather than putting one man on the job, he'd put 2 or 3 just to make sure that the job was not only done correctly, but he wasn't putting stress on the other employees.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that was part of the reason why it failed, or you know.
So you mean like to make like a better job experience, but
yeah,
you've never like her like, because I personally, besides in the resorts, I can't think of somewhere that says like, oh well, when a customer comes in, this is what you do. Like even in janitorial or guardsman's work, there's still customer service because you're the face of the company.
Listen, it's no, I don't think it's a coincidence why somebody like Gordon Butch Stewart succeeded. Because his work ethic is impeccable and he demands high quality from the people that work with him. He even went so far as to let the employees, when the planes would come in Montego Bay, wave to the planes.
Yeah.
Now, whether you saw this as being mean or whether you saw this as him want me do this, him, you know, I mean, I don't know why me have to stand there and wait for a plane. If you paid me enough money, I would stand out there with a sign and wave it and swing it around. It's all a image thing. People need to realize this. Everything is a image. Whether you eat at a restaurant or not has to do with how the food is presented. And he understood that and he presents his product properly.
Okay, so I guess this will be one of the final customers final comments coming in as we're rolling up to an hour. Marvin, again, who's been on the side of saying Jamaica does have good customer service. It's just because we're, you know, like abroad that we don't see it that way. He says, Jamaicans invented the word brata. That's great customer service. Go to Carnation Market and see what great customer service is about.
True. Yeah, yes, because as I said before, we put it in a... You can say Jamaicans don't have good customer service, but it depends. But something like Brata is a good example of Jamaican having good customer service. Yeah. I agree with that part of it.
But also look at it like this. You go to... Jamaicans have come abroad to America. Right? You get your visa. You get your work permit. And you come to America. Then all of a sudden, you are working for a Jamaican restaurant. Mentally, you're thinking, maybe better off on the island. But when you come to America and all of a sudden you're working in a restaurant, in a Jamaican restaurant, when you're supposed to be doing better in the US, maybe a lot of these Jamaican employees working in... When we say Jamaicans have bad customer service, we're saying it's based on going to a Jamaican restaurant a lot of times or many other businesses and getting that attitude. Maybe you didn't come to America to work in a restaurant. Maybe back home you did have a better job or better status, and all of a sudden you're in the servant class, and that kind of might get a little, you know...
I think this is I'm going to try and squeeze this one in there because it does have a good point. It says the reason why a lot of the higglers, which it goes back to, you know, the Brata mentality, has good customer service is because they're independent. And I do find that when you're self-owned, self-working, self-reliant, you are, or less of an hourly worker, I should say, like when you determine your own income, you're more stressed to do better and retain customers. So do you think that that's why maybe in like markets or so on you may have a better...
Because you know, whenever you're doing independent and whenever you're doing... When you're going to entrepreneurship and you know that your income is determined on how you communicate with your customer, that will force you to act accordingly or to provide better customer service. Because as opposed to being in a company where your service will reflect the company in general, when you have your own business, your service will reflect who you are and your unique customer service.
But then they also see the efforts that they put in on a macro level. They see that I do business with Raul come next week. I was mean to Raul never came back. So they see how it affects them directly. Now when you have a shop and you hire somebody that have an attitude, guess what? That shop is likely to fail. That model doesn't work with a bank. That model doesn't work with a cell phone company. When you have a monopoly in some things where you only can go to this business, that's where bad customer service is going to still stay prevalent because they have no incentive to do better.
All right, so as we're coming into the closing, I do have just one statement I want you guys to kind of build on, and then you can add your closing statements. Jamaicans are known for being, you know, friendly, no problem kind of. We all are very laid back in our mentality on a lot of things. But with customer service, it seems as if, you know, I'd say 80-90% of us all agree that customer service is our one deficit. So I think what we need to do is figure out how to bridge the gap for bringing or charming personalities into the service industry or into whatever we do. So I just want you guys to let us know, you know, going forward what you feel, or, you know, do you think Jamaica's customer service is hopeful for the future, or do you think it's, you know, it's just the way we are? In your closing statements?
I think it will always depend on a few things that different people mentioned throughout the entire hour. It will depend customer service, I believe, is always surrounded around the pay, the amount of money you get, the amount of stress, the amount of workers, and the industry. Some industries will always have better customer service than others.
And John, what do you feel?
I feel that in order for customer services to get better, is they need to have a better understanding of their impact in the job and the job's image. If you live in a box, you're not going to see, how it is.
Yeah.
And somebody brought up earlier that Jamaica doesn't recognize how bad it is only until you come overseas and go back home. And that's something that they need to not only take seriously, but a part of this show is to bring Jamaica into the 21st century, right? Maybe it's going to take a long time, but even if our voice hits somebody, maybe they'll go to work tomorrow and just be a little bit better. And it's infectious. Why are you going to change? Why are you going to be the one person doing this when everybody else is doing bad? It's like when you see a bird going for a little table scrap. Him wait till one go down and then everybody else go down. Be that one bird willing, brave enough to go down there and be that person. And then it'll reverberate throughout the islands. And it'll not only see the impact in your local area, but it'll also reflect on the tourism as well. You don't realize that sometimes what you think is you're doing good to the tourists, you still come there with your little fenke attitude, and you don't realize so you're coming off too brazen,
Yeah. A long time I know hear the word fenke.
Well, me never did heard that word one I did say earlier. I know me realize where it come from.
Meritocracy.
The root of it. What is it called again?
Meritocracy.
Yeah, it's from merit. I get it. It's merit.
Right,
The
so
hypocrisy part throw me off.
We're coming to the end of our hour, and I find it funny every time we do a show, someone brings up kids, and they said children in Jamaica need to take classes in manners. I'm just laughing about that because every topic we do, people say teach the children first. It's always
Let me.
as I say,
It's
not
funny
as I
you
do.
mention the children, and I do want to get this point across because I don't know when other show I can talk about this.
Okay.
I went to Dominica, not the Dominican Republic, the island of Dominica, and I went to climb a waterfall. And there was this little boy, about 7 years old, came up to me, and he looked at me and he said, "Sir, do you need a tour guide?" And I said to the young boy, and I know in Jamaica, and I was using my Jamaican experience to Dominica, I'm thinking, well, some parents send their kids to go beg out a street and bring the money back to them. And I'm thinking maybe that's the case with this 7-year-old kid, because no 7-year-old kid go and get up and say, let me go make money, unless they want to play, they want to have fun. Some of them are entrepreneurs. But either way, let me get back to my point. I looked at the kid and I said, I'm sorry, we don't need a tour guide. We're here with locals. The little boy looked at me and he said, "It's okay, sir. Have a nice day." No. I reach into my pocket and I asked the kid, "What's the most money you make a day?"
Yeah.
The man said the little boy said $10. I took out two $10 bills. I give him a $10 bill and said, "You take this back to the person that's putting it to work. I don't know who it is. And this is for you. I want you to treat yourself to that, because that attitude is not only going to take you far in life, but it's a beautiful attitude to have. I know for a fact, had that been Jamaica, they would have tell me, "All right, go and go dead a bush. Go kill yourself." Sorry, I can't, And it does start from the youth. And where did this little kid realize that to be so polite? I've seen it many times over, that people wish you harm rather than good if you don't do what they want. "Oh, you don't want to do it for me? Fine. Go on, go dead. Me not care."
Alright, so that's about it for our show today. I'm just going to mention really quickly, because someone mentioned something that I haven't heard in about maybe like 4 years. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Have you guys heard about that before? In customer service, they stress it. So we're going to close out with that. It's self-actualization, esteem, love and belonging, safety needs, and psychological needs. Psychological needs is definitely like the base of it all, and then it works its way up in the background. So I think that does summarize what we've all been saying today for Jamaica. It's more on a cultural thing, but I think, you know, Jamaicans are fun loving and very, very pleasant. We just need to bring that into the customer service.
Yes.
All right. So thank you guys so much for joining. Next week, what's our topic, guys?
Next week we're going to be talking about credit.
Yes. And
when we'll be having a couple guests on the show.
And we'll be having two lovely ladies on, just in case you guys are trying to see these men.
And please feel free to write in comments as well. Raul is easily available on his Instagram at Raul_Blaze. And I'm the Mad White Jamaican. That's simple, but go ahead.
Please, you can DM us anytime.
Anytime.
We will read all your messages. So don't feel afraid to come into our inbox. Just DM us any question and we will respond. All right.
Thank you for tuning in.